It's one of your new abilities. Try to take control of your spirit energy and then gather as much as you can into your right index finger.
Hey, it's getting warm.
What is that?
I don't know!
What are you?
Shotgun!
Hello everyone, this is Poohead189, and today we're going to begin our series on Yu Yu Hakusho by giving you information on spirit energy. So get ready to power up. Now, spirit energy, also called Reiki in the original Japanese, Rei meaning spirit and Ki of course being energy, is much like one might expect from a seminal shonen series. However, the difference between Reiki and Ki from a series like Dragon Ball is that Reiki's base power source is a mortal's soul. This differentiates it from so-called demon energy and other less common powers like sacred energy. And while spirit energy could arguably have occurred earlier with some of the more opaque occurrences, the first overt usage of it is in Chapter 19 of the Yu Yu Hakusho manga with the introduction of the spirit gun. Now, I will not talk specifically about the spirit gun today, as that is a special technique, but I will point out how Koenma speaks to Yusuke about it when informing him he has the ability. However, first, it is most important to note that you can utilize spirit energy either through training, through direct contact with the supernatural like Yusuke, or potentially a life-threatening situation. But once you are aware of it, you can reach into the well of energy you have in order to perform a rudimentary technique utilizing spirit energy. But once you are aware of it and can reach into the well of energy you have in order to perform a rudimentary technique utilizing spirit energy, you need to first visualize it. You will then begin to feel a warmth in the area you visualize it in, and then once you are ready, you can release it by will. In Yusuke's case, he conceptualizes it like a gun and visualizes himself pulling the trigger, and his finger fires a burst of concentrated spirit energy. Now, people could make the argument that this technique has been given to him by Koenma's gift of life again, but at the same time, it seems to be the best explanation of how spirit energy works in general. Now, with spirit energy or Reiki, you can perform feats many might consider superhuman or magical, like increasing your strength or toughness to great levels, moving immensely quickly, even healing people. However, we do need to note that in the Yu Yu Hakusho universe, there is magic such as curses, though it is very rare, and that is a separate thing entirely to spirit energy, though there is a possibility that spirit energy might aid in the performance of magic, potentially. Now, Reiki or spirit energy can be sensed by others who can utilize spirit energy, though if you are a very skilled practitioner and refine your energy, it will be impossible to see unless your opponent has the adequate level of training, like when Yusuke and Kuwabara fought the other human fighters in the Dark Tournament. However, some people have natural inclinations in the usage of spirit energy, such as some being able to utilize spirit energy better to attack like Yusuke, and others being able to sense it better like Kuwabara, who was even able to sense spirits before he received training. We should also realize that being attuned and strong in spirit energy can help one to survive usually fatal wounds, and to also heal faster than normal people. And on that note, while spirit energy is inextricably linked to one's soul and naturally increases one's physical attributes, it is not entirely melded with the body. We can ascertain this from various parts of the series, like when Genkai places the spirit cuffs on Yusuke, which only taxes one's spirit energy and not their physical muscles. Even though to someone like Yusuke, who needs to use his spirit energy to perform the feats that he does with his muscles, it's very nearly the same thing. There also appears to be various places on Earth, and potentially even in other realms, where spirit energy is more potent. It is difficult to ascertain what causes it, but one way is for there to have been many deaths and violence in a place, likely because of the separation of souls from bodies, but also likely how violence might have caused or attracted ghosts and other aberrations. Now, while spirit energy comes from a mortal soul, it is not pure energy of the soul itself. However, you can utilize the pure life force of your body and soul to make a more potent attack or perform a stronger feat, but it could very well end your life. I think of it much like how Tien uses Genki in his Kikoho or Tri-Beam, how it could drain his life energy. And finally, spirit energy is a reflection of oneself in more ways than one. It's quite possible to read someone's mood or general demeanor from one spirit energy, especially the more they have. During the last stages of the Dark Tournament, almost everyone with the ability could sense Yusuke's lack of hope and forlorn nature during that stage. It seems to be much like how one could sense the malice in certain demons from their energy. And of course, spirit energy can increase from training and extended use like any muscle. However, unlike a physical muscle, it's hard to say if it needs rest or not. Expending spirit energy does require one to need rest. However, in the case of Yusuke's spirit cuffs, he wore them for days, perhaps weeks, yet when he removed them, he was fully rested, or at least appeared to be. Then again, one could make the argument that he just wasn't exerting himself enough, and so he was resting at times. It's hard to say. Finally, there is a discrepancy in the fandom on what to call users of spirit energy. In the anime, they tend to be called psychics. However, in the manga, a psychic is something else entirely. In the manga, they are referred to as Reiki practitioners or Reiki masters, so be careful on what term you use if you wish to be completely accurate to the manga. Alright, I believe that's all I have to say today about spirit energy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you believe I deserve it. I have my Patreon down below if you'd like to join, as well as links to my social media and Twitch. Expect to see more Yu Yu Hakusho vids soon. Alright guys, see ya!